Hi guys and welcome to Broken Britain. So, a very new channel here, and the first thing I want to do is just want to get right into it because I'm sure you guys agree that Britain is going down a very, very dark place, and there's something I just wanted to discuss about this because, I've been talking with my partner about this, and it's so weird because, when I speak to my partner, the answer seems so obvious in terms of the immigration crisis and that kind of thing. And I've always said to my partner, I don't understand how no government has never understood this. I find it really strange, but let's get into it. So, we're talking about, of course, we've got an immigration problem right now at this point. It's getting to a point where it's getting out of control. Now, look, for me personally, I think it's deeper than just immigration. Personally, I think it goes a lot deeper than that, and I'm going to get into that in a second. But obviously, the immigration situation isn't helping. So, okay, let's get to it then. So, what do I mean when I say it's not just about migration? Well, it's just about the benefit system as a whole, right? And I think the answer to sorting a lot of this out is actually the benefit system. That's really the whole ticket to trying to get a hold on this. Now, don't get me wrong, you are still going to have a certain level of immigration because obviously, the UK is a much better country than the places that these migrants are coming from. So yes, you are still going to have people wanting to come here just for their personal safety and that kind of thing. But the issue at the hand here is the way they're treated when they get here. Because I saw a video, and I forgot the news station that was covering it. It was like a YouTube news station, and they showed you them in France, an immigration camp in France, right? And the funny thing was, the host said to them, well, you're in France now. France is, a nice country. Why are you not going to just stay in France? Why are you specifically coming to the UK? Because you could just stay in France now and you're in a much better country, a much safer country. You could stay here and be done with it, right? And the migrant said, money. He says, you can get a lot of money in the UK. And right there lies your problem. The problem is that Labour are being so frivolous with the benefit system, and don't get me wrong, not just Labour, it's been like this for a long time, that it just allows people to sponge off of the benefits. And to me, that right there is the problem. The whole thing about, being on, benefits and stuff, it's not supposed to be a lifestyle. It's not supposed to be a lifestyle choice. It's not, hey, I'm just going to decide to, just live on benefits and that's it. That's great. It's supposed to be, hey, I'm on benefits while I'm looking for work and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think there are reasons at times for people to not work. If you've got, for example, a healthcare situation, like a health situation, yes, then that's absolutely understandable. If you're not in a position where you're fit to work, then you shouldn't work. Right? Now, don't get me wrong, I do think you have to be careful with that because it can be a bit of a slippery slope on what you determine as fit for work. So, there is a thing now where the whole mental health angle, I don't want to downplay it, but some people are milking it a little bit, kind of using it to its advantage. And so they're getting away with things where really they could work, but they're using it as a reason to get benefits, right? But the ultimate thing that I'm saying here is, and this isn't really just about immigration at all, it's about everybody on benefits. The whole thing of benefits is, why should it be a thing of people are working and paying taxes, but yet, the people with benefits are getting all the benefits, right? So I'll give you an example. If you have children, right? If you're someone who's on benefits, you don't have to pay for childcare. You get free childcare. Whereas if you work, you have to pay for childcare. Now, with all due respect, if you're on benefits, what exactly do you need free childcare for? Because it's not like you're going to work, right? So if you're someone who works, then, clearly you could do with the free childcare because you've got a child, you want to go to work, but it's going to be expensive. So would it not make more sense to give people who work the free childcare rather than people who are on benefits who are not working, so they're at the house and can look after their children? So this is what I mean. I've spoken with many people over my time, and we obviously work, and one of the reasons why they're cautious about having kids is due to the money concerns. Literally heard people say, look, if I do have a child, I probably will quit my job. And it's not because they don't want to work, it's because it doesn't financially make sense for them. They actually say, if I carry on working after I have a child, I'm going to be worse off for working, so I might as well go on benefits. And so you're not giving anyone an incentive to work. Like, I'll be honest with you, the people who are on benefits, I can't say I blame them because you're not giving people an incentive to want to work. And with the new propositions that have been given by Labour, you know, it's looking to me, to be honest with you, that it's just looking worse and worse to be someone who works. It's not getting any better. So for the people who are, you know, not working, why are they going to be incentivized to want to work when it's actually looking like you'll be worse off for it in general as well? And so, you know, I've lived my life personally as like being very cautious about having children. And the reason why I've done that is because I do want to make sure that if I'm in a position where I have children, I'm in a very good place to look after them financially, etc., and give them, you know, not just money because it's deeper than just money, but I want to make sure I can take care of them properly. But, you know, it's getting to a point where you see what's going on with the child cap and you think, well, why not just pop out a few kids and then I can just live on benefits and then I can be around them all the time? Like, there's just no incentive at this point to have people, you know, go out and work. It's actually literally taking away the drive for people to want to work. And this isn't a thing of people just wanting to go on benefits. I know people like myself who want to work, but it's getting to a point where it's not beneficial for them anymore. Like, the people who are working are the ones who are suffering for it. We're the one taking all of the, you know, all of the hits. And so when you see, for example, with the immigration situation, my whole thing is, okay, you get people who get to this country and fair enough. It's a thing of, they've come from a war-torn country. You know, obviously, I understand that. I empathise with that. But first and foremost, they have got here illegally. We have to acknowledge that. And secondly, that doesn't now mean that it should equate to you now get all of the benefits over other people. So it shouldn't be now, okay, you now get a mobile phone, you get access to a nice fancy hotel, you get all of the top priority, you know, access to medical aid and things like that. Like, for example, my partner was looking for some glasses and there was a part on the form that she had to fill out and it said, are you an immigrant? And if you're an immigrant, you get like a priority access and priority care. And it's like, well, what's going on here? Now, for me, I think the answer to this is very simple. If you work, you should be the priority because you're paying taxes. You're the one paying for all of this so other people can benefit. And I'm not saying that benefits are wrong because I understand that some people might be struggling to find work. I understand that. That's completely fine. But let's not act like there's not people out here who are just milking the system. Like, that is a complete problem and that doesn't have to be just immigrants, right? My thing here is, it's very simple. If you're someone who works, you are the priority. You're the one who gets free childcare. You're the one who, if you're phoning for a doctor's appointment, you'll get seen over someone on benefits. If you're someone on benefits, unless it's something life-threatening, then of course they have to prioritise in that way. But if you're someone who just wants a doctor's appointment, but you're on benefits, well, unfortunately, we've got all these people who work who have got appointments over you. And you know what that does? It makes people more incentivized to work. Do you see what I mean? Like, being on benefits should be a means to an end. It's not supposed to be, hey, I'm just going to go and live on benefits now because it's great. It's supposed to be, I hate benefits, but this is what I have to stick with for now. And if they make it so that being on benefits isn't appealing, then that's how you take away people wanting to be on it anymore. That's when you take away it being a lifestyle choice. That's when people are desperate to get off of benefits. And to me, this is so simple. Like, I just don't understand why no government has not implemented something like this before. Now, maybe there's things about this deeper than I realise, but to me, it sounds quite straightforward. You know, you just make the benefit system a lot more strict. You start phasing people out who you feel aren't, you know, for it. You don't just give it to everyone. You'd be a lot more strict with how you monitor things and whether they're actually, you know, fit for benefits, whether they are eligible. And then you start to make it so that, okay, yes, you are on benefits, but this isn't going to be this joyous thing for you where you're just going to be able to live happily ever after on benefits. It's going to be a struggle. You're not going to enjoy it. You know, even things of, okay, if you've been looking for a job for X amount of time, well, now you have to start doing community work. Now you have to go and do work for free at a place. You have to go and earn the benefits that you're getting. Like, it's like community service. Like, you might have to go and, you know, clean up the environment somewhere or something like that. Like, do little things where it's at least a matter of people having to earn the money that they're getting. And then they might think, hey, this is terrible. I might as well go and work, or, I can't get medical access. I'm always last in the line. I really want to be seen. This is annoying. I want to go and get a job. To me, it just seems so straightforward. And I just don't get how people have not thought about this. It's like, if you make the benefit system so appealing, of course people are going to go for it. And you're taking away the incentive from the taxpayer, the people who are working, so they're going to end up going on benefits too. And then what's going to happen? It's just going to implode. Because from what I saw, in terms of like the budget, what Rachel Reeves did, like, you really are making it very difficult for people to want to work now. You really are. And more people are just going to start to rely on benefits, because why not? Why not? Because working it's not really starting to make sense anymore. It's like, might as well just pop out a few kids and be done with it. So that's just my thoughts. I'd definitely like to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm sure you guys have got your own stuff to say here. And just the last thing about the immigration thing, like, it's funny how we can, house immigrants, but yet we've got people on the streets in the UK who are homeless. I find that a bit messed up too. And it's not to say, again, that with the immigrants, we should be just throwing them out and whatnot. I get that they have to kind of look after them to a certain degree, but look after the homeless in the UK as well. Like, why are they on the streets? Why are they not getting a hotel to stay in? Like, it should be balanced. That's all I'm saying there. Like, I find that a bit messed up too. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about that, because that's something that I've been wondering about for a while, and I've been saying it to my partner for a long time. Like, I just don't understand how they don't see it. This is such an obvious thing, but it still seems to be going on. So yeah, if you like this, remember to like, comment and subscribe, all that good stuff. And obviously, depending on how this goes, you'll see plenty more of me, because I'm willing to have more of these conversations and discussions. Okay, take care. See you soon.